Hello, Gabby. Welcome to Point Blank.
Thank you, my brother, and thank you for the invitation.
Yes,
I'm happy to be here.
it's a pleasure. I mean, we've been speaking about cylinder recirculation, LPG matters, and all of that. Here we are again with another one. The MPA has introduced some $80 per metric ton. I don't know if it's on LPG products, and $80 per metric ton doesn't look very huge given the volume of business you do. And why are you strongly opposed to this particular, do I call it levy, on the job you do?
Thank you very much, my brother. I think $80 is very, very huge to the ordinary consumer. I want to give a little background to this. I mean, somewhere in 2020, Cabinet instructed MPA to take measures to ensure that consumption of LPG is doubled in Ghana. We were then at 25% penetration level, and the instruction from Cabinet was that by 2030, His Excellency and his Cabinet wants us to increase consumption of LPG from 25% penetration level to 50% by the year 2030. We felt that was a very laudable objective to set. So consistently, we have been doing a lot to ensure that we help achieve that goal. But we realized that one of the main factors contributing against this noble objective, fighting strongly against this objective, is the fact that the pump price of the product is so high that the ordinary consumer is no longer able to afford. So consistently, our association have been calling on government to consider removing the existing taxes on LPG, taxes which were introduced in 2015, 2016, 2017, thereabout. Prior to the introduction of taxes on LPG consumption in Ghana was growing at an average rate of about 16.5%. After the introduction of the taxes, the growth slowed down. We peaked in 2020, 2021, but since 2021, LPG consumption in Ghana has taken a nosedive, and it's mainly as a result of the fact that the pump price of the product is so high that the ordinary consumer is no longer able to afford. So, like I indicate, consistently we have called on government. We have written letters to the Ministry of Finance, to government, to MPA, to the Ministry of Energy to consider removing the taxes on the product so we can buy LPG at cost. Because this is a product government wants to increase its consumption. Of all the petroleum products, it's only LPG that Cabinet singled out and said, guys, let's ensure that we double consumption of LPG in Ghana. That tells you the importance of that product. But we have been calling on government to remove the taxes, because this is a product which is being subsidized in our neighboring country like Cote d'Ivoire. Cote d'Ivoire is subsidizing LPG. But in Ghana, we've heaped about, in fact, if you add the recent introduction, we are paying about 22, 25% taxes and levies on LPG. And we felt that is a deterrent to consumption. So we have been at this course trying to see how government can reduce the cost of LPG so the ordinary consumer can afford. Then somewhere last month, I think early part of this month, we woke up one morning to see that a levy of about $80 per metric ton has been slapped on the product, which translate to about 1 Citi 20 pesos per every kilo of LPG that you buy. Prior to that, we were buying LPG at about 14 cedis per kilo. But after that introduction, the LPG price shot up to about 16 cedis per kilo. So we have written a letter to MPA that, look, this is a product that government wants to improve its consumption. You can't eat your cake and have it. You can't set such a laudable objective to increase consumption, and at the same time you keep piling taxes on the product to push away consumers. Like I did indicate earlier, consumption of LPG in Ghana has taken a nosedive since 2021. And this is a product we have set a target to increase its consumption. So There is no way you can continue piling taxes on the product and at the same time expect to achieve an increment in consumption. LPG is not a luxury product that you increase its price when you want rich people to patronize. It's a mass product. It's a product for the ordinary Ghanaian. It's a product that the only way you can engender consumption is to take measures to reduce the cost of the product so you can attract a lot more people into your consumption net. So we can all together achieve government objective.
So you did make the point that you woke up one morning and $80 per metric ton was slapped on this. Are you by this saying that you were not consulted in the process? You did not know that any such levy was going to be imposed on the product?
No,
it just happened.
It just happened. We just woke up one morning and saw a letter that is introducing this onto the product, and we feel industry was not consulted. It was just slapped, and an account was opened, and BDCs were asked to pay this money into that account. NPA later came out to explain that it's not a tax, but it's rather a margin which is going to be given to those who are building bottling plants to implement cylinder recirculation. But the question is, why should somebody's margin be collected by NPA? We are all in the industry. If I want to put up an LPG plant, I go to the bank, borrow money, invest in the plant, and I recoup my investment through the margin that I get by selling LPG on the market. So why should this special account be created and this money be contributed to that account, and the explanation is that is going to be given to these private people who are building bottling plants? We don't have any problem if you want to give the private investor his due. You want to give them margins, but give it to them. They have built a plant, so just give it to them so that they can roll out the product onto the market and recoup their investment through that. So we don't see how.
Maybe that is to encourage more people to get into the sector. So, for example, you sitting here, if you're interested in building a bottling plant, you will also become a beneficiary of this new levy that is been slapped on the product.
No, but that is not what is done.
It's to encourage people to get
that
into the sector.
That is not what is done. Why must you encourage somebody by deliberately creating a fund to cushion private investors? I don't think that is the way to do. We have all invested in LPG. LPG industry has been built by ordinary Ghanaians. There's no direct support of government. All the over 800 LPG stations you see across the country were built by indigenous Ghanaians. LPG is the only industry that has 100% local content in terms of participation. In Ghana now, can you point any industry in Ghana that is not foreign dominated, that doesn't have foreign hands in it? Even Bairachi and Coca Gobe are being sold by Chinese. Even there's a Chinese guy in Kumasi who is a trotro driver's mate. The LPG industry is the only industry. I challenge anybody to point any industry in Ghana that is local.
You're telling me that no foreigner has any investment.
There is no foreign.
Anyway.
We have 42 LPG marketing companies. All these companies are driven by indigenous Ghanaians. We have 800 LPG retail outlets across the country. All of them are built by indigenous Ghanaians. You can't tell me, you can't point one LPG station which is owned by a foreigner. So this is an industry we expect government to protect. This is an industry we expect that government should nurture and grow so that the Ghanaian can take over the commanding height of our economy. But we see government action.
Maybe government wants the sector to contribute so that more local people or indigenous people will be raised so the sector grows better.
Yeah, I'm happy you said maybe, but that's not that.
But it does appear that government is not just doing this on its own. There's a law, the Fees and Charges Miscellaneous Provisions Regulations 2023. Government is or the MPA is basing this particular levy on. What do you say about that?
Yes, I mean there are hundreds of laws in Ghana that has been passed that is not implemented in this manner. Why are we so much in a hurry to implement laws that has to do with taxing the people? That one we implement them with the speed of a lightning.
Yeah, but the point is, before these things are passed, I mean, stakeholders often are spoken to, or stakeholders would have known about it. And if they have issues, they make those issues known. Are you saying that throughout the process, Parliament was considering this and all of that, the LPG marketing companies association did not know about it?
There's
so
no record of this. We didn't know anything about this.
Your inputs were not solicited.
No input was solicited. All of a sudden, we wake up one day and we saw this. And this has contributed the price of LPG going up by about 7.5%. And this is already a product which is in decline.
So is this increment, as this new levy, I mean, is it in effect?
It's in full force.
It's in full
force.
Yes,
it came into effect on the 1st of April. And the figures we picked from the first half of the month, the consumption figures we pick indicate that this month we are going to record the lowest LPG consumption figures over the past 5 years. So it's real. Consumption of LPG, just last week or 2 weeks ago, IES released a report which support our stand that consumption of LPG is in the decline. Now, the whole of last week I was in the north. LPG consumption in the north is the north consumes just about 3% of our national consumption. LPG stations in the north are closing down because they are not able to get sales. If you go to, we used to have about 7 stations in Wa. 2 of them are down. It's only 5 which is operating. We have about 5 in Boga. 1 is down
because the people are not patronizing.
People are not patronizing. And for us, this also goes for this call for a rethink of government policy of cylinder recirculation. Because even with the current system that the consumer can buy in bits, at this current system, even if you want 5 cedis of LPG, you can just lift your cylinder, go to the nearest LPG point and buy it. The cylinder recirculation is going to come with a fuel cylinder with a predetermined price. You either have the full amount, or you go and buy charcoal or cut firewood and cook your meal. So it's a genuine concern that. But
cylinder recirculation will have various sizes of
the smallest cylinder we have now is costing about 100 cedis now. And when you send your reporters to any LPG station, 60% of the people in Accra, consumers in Accra, are not able to fill their cylinders. When you go to the district,
it's even lower.
It goes as high as 90%. See, so it's a genuine concern that we are raising, that there is no way government can achieve an increment in consumption. Cylinder recirculation, yes, it has an advantage of making the product available.
So the cylinder recirculation really will deepen the penetration we spoke about earlier.
Yes.
Because it will now be available to a lot of people. But of course, availability must come with affordability.
Availability does not guarantee consumption. We all pass by shops that has very nice things that we just go, turn it around and walk away. If we don't work on the price, what we are going to do is we are going to end up incurring distribution costs unnecessarily. There is no way cylinder recirculation is going to work in Ghana if we don't take concrete measures to reduce the price of LPG.
But so you wrote to the MPA a couple of days ago. Have you heard from them? What are they saying?
Well, we are yet to hear from them. We sent this letter to them about 2 weeks ago. We are not getting any responses yet. But
have you made follow-ups?
They are regular. We write letters to them. If those they want to respond, they respond to us. They haven't responded. They are regulators. We respect them. We give them some time, some reasonable time, to see if we are going to get any response. In no response is also a response anyway. So we are waiting.
So I see that you copied a number of people, about 26 persons or institutions.
It tells you how serious the problem is.
So what do you expect? I mean, have you sought audience with any of these persons or institutions you have copied on this.
Yes,
on
indeed.
this
Some of these individuals and institutions have called us for further explanation, for us to explain things to them better, and we have done that. So we are still, the letter was directed straight to MPA. So MPA is the one who is supposed to respond. But we will continue to give them some time and have some patience and see what happens.
So if you wait for a while and no response is coming, what will the marketing companies do?
The association will decide. Yeah.
But what options are available to you?
I can't speak of any option now. We have a steering committee, and then we have the association membership. And they are all in support of what we've done. So whatever the outcome is, if we get a response, we go back to the association. If we don't get a response, we go back to the association to take a decision on the way forward.
I see. Thanks so much, Gabby Kumi, who is the vice chair of the LPG Marketing Companies Association of Ghana. If you have some final words, you may want to share those final words with the people.
Just to thank you for having me, but just to re-emphasize the point that there is no way we can achieve consumption growth if we don't take measures to take off the taxes on LPG. If government is really serious as increasing consumption of LPG in Ghana, the only way to do that is to bring the price of LPG down, because currently the product has been priced out of the reach of the ordinary Ghanaian.
So that was the voice of Gabby Kumi. He is the vice chair of the LPG Marketing Companies Association of Ghana.